Welcome to Crispin Garage. That one hurt. Oh. We're back in the shop today, and I just wanted to bring y'all along and show y'all kind of what goes on a little bit in between some of these races. That quarter panel, you got to beat out. That'll be later, not a big deal. Probably won't show y'all that. I've already got the brake caliper took off. I got the upper control arm ball joint took loose. We got to get that out of there and replace on that. She kind of got bink up just a tickle. John, right. Alright. Ball joint's got 4 of these bolts, 7/16. Actually, I'd probably metric. Now look, I don't really like showing y'all all up underneath my bonnet. It's not very ladylike, but I want y'all to see this. See that power steering pump right there? That is the very power steering pump that was on the motor that was in this car when she come out of the junkyard. I dare say it liable to be power steering pump Grandma run when she drove this to church on Sunday. See what you gonna want to do. Get this old ball going out of here. And you're just inspecting on everything, what you're trying to do. Make sure everything's kosher. Before you go out there and something goes awry and you end up soiling your undies. Yep, think that one. Alright, now, this old A-frame right here, she'd bink up too. So, we're gonna go ahead and get her off. She's a Kaiser flavor. Some call it a swing blade. I called it a Kaiser blade. Kindly a long handle, kindly like an axe handle. With a long blade, shaped kinda like a banana. Sharp on one edge, dull on the other. Alright, there she is. Yep. Got the good out of that one. I'll show y'all what we do with these. Come with me. Y'all follow me. Come here. Come on. Come over here. See that right there? That's what we do with that. Alright. Now what we have here is an all-star flavor. This is a 57984. This accepts a Camaro style larger ball joint. You can also get this in, I believe it's 57994 is the stock size ball joint, which would have been on the S10 pick 'em up truck and all of the G-bodies. Now, don't get too carried away now. It's not every day that I'll let you in on my little speed secrets that I got going on, so just enjoy it while it lasts. Alright, now what I want to show y'all, I'm gonna have to get y'all in here a little bit closer. There's one thing in particular about these A-frames that I want to show y'all, and then there's a couple of other small things that I want to go over as far as maintenance and selecting what you want to run. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but if you look right here where this taper is, there's a taper here and there's a taper over here. Well, this side right here is deeper than this side is. So if you turn this cross shaft like this, like I've got it, with the deeper side facing the ball joint, it'll give you more camber. Now if you turn it this way, it'll give you less camber. Now you got to keep that in mind when you're setting the front end of these cars up, because there's always, you perches right here and there's always shims in between here, front and back. That's how we set our caster and camber. So if you need a little bit more camber, you can turn this thing around to the deeper side. If you need a little bit less, you can turn it around to the shallow side. And that's all depending about when you got the gauge on it and you're trying to fine-tune your caster and camber on your, whether it be your right front or your left front. One thing that you want to pay attention to is I always like to get upper control arms that have the grease fittings on the top. There are some manufacturers that make them with the grease fittings on each end. The one in the front of the car would be very easy to get to, and the one in the back would be almost impossible to get to. That's why I like running these All-Star brand A-frames. It's a very fine product. They don't sponsor us. Maybe they will in the future. If you're listening, All-Star, how about hook a brother up? Now, there's another company that has a house brand upper control arm, and I'm not going to say any names, but they make one that's got an aluminum cross shaft in it. Now, I'm not saying that it's a bad product, but I have found that the aluminum cross shafts tend to bend right in this area right here on each side. And what happens then is this thing doesn't pivot. You always want to make sure this thing has got full free range of motion. It's very important that this right here pivots, and it's very important that your ball joints are nice and free as well and not bent or tweaked or whatever. And what happens when this is tight or this ball joint is tight is it makes your spring and your shock less effective on that corner of the car. When you go in the corner, you want that car to react the same way each time. And if this is bent or this is bent, it's hindering the way this car reacts when it goes in the corner and when you step back on the gas and you go to come off the corner. So pay attention to that. Make sure that you buy a good steel A-frame, steel cross shaft, steel A-frame. Make sure you understand your part numbers for your ball joints that you want to run. Make sure you grease these things periodically, and make sure you take all this stuff apart. Make sure everything's moving like it should. And then lastly, if you're fine tuning, just keep that in the back of your mind that you can turn this thing one way or the other and gain or take away camber as you fine tune the front end of your car. Y'all see this face? It's hot in this John Brown shop. Let me show y'all what we got going on now. Been fighting with this daggone front end on this race car. Steel tore apart. I'm gonna try to learn y'all a very valuable lesson. See this A-frame? This was sized for a Camaro ball joint, which is larger than the G-Body ball joint is. Well, me being me, about half idiot, I had a stock G-Body ball joint. I said, you know what? All-Star sent me the wrong part, or maybe I ordered the wrong part number. There's only one number difference between the metric A-frame for the Camaro ball joint and the metric A-frame with the stock metric ball joint. So I probably screwed up. So I kind of thought, well, I'll just center her up and welt her in there. See? Welt it in there. Well, I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but these ball joints are not metal on metal inside. They kind of got a gooey, plastic, marshmallowy like substance in there. And as I was welting on her, she caught on fire and went to oozing this white substance out of her. So I made that ball joint go to the bad prematurely. But we got us another one, right size. All-Star's got awesome shipping. They sent us part. I think I got it in like 2 days. So I'm gonna bolt that up. I'm gonna put this tire on, set her on the ground, and that's gonna be it for this video, because I don't think I'm gonna bore y'all with hanging this body back on and shooting a bunch of pop rivets. Cotter key, go ahead and lose that. Grease fitting, don't need that either. This thing ain't gonna be on here long enough, need to be greased. Especially if old Billy 31 Hickey Doodle gets hold of me again. I always like to put these ball joint bolts in what some people would consider upside down. I like the nut to be on top of the ball joint where I can see it. That's just one of my quirks, I guess. But it really doesn't matter how you do it, as long as they're in there. They're tight. Tight-ish. Alright, y'all. That's going to do it for today's video. It's getting ready to throw down, raining and storming. But I just want to say I appreciate y'all watching. I believe we're going to see y'all at the line on the 23rd. If everything goes according to plan and they decide to open back up because they're having a little bit of a tire shortage. But until next time, appreciate y'all watching here from the shop. See you next time.